Good morning, g'day, how you going? This is Roger Roadside saying hello. Little plug there for UK cooling in front of us. You may have already also noticed, clean the old windscreens, look at this. Got some water in them, bloody beautiful. I hope you had a good weekend and what a start to the working week. Look at this cracking day. Sun is shining, the birds are singing, and we're having a little bit of fun this morning. Listen, I don't know if you've seen in the news as yet that Labour are looking to re-enter the single market, which, you know, to me is another instance where they're lying. So I guess the question is Labour about to lie again? We've already seen them lie about the council tax. We've already seen them lie about the energy bills. There's been other instances where they've gone back and forth. They're going to cut benefits. They're going to cut benefits. There's been countless. That's a lazy word to use. I'm sure you could count them, but there's been several times where Labour have indeed not followed their manifesto. I mean, their manifesto isn't worth the paper that it's written on. They've hardly stuck to it, have they, really? And look, if you don't agree with that, by all means, put it in the comments where you think that that's wrong. And look, I'm only sort of reporting what's being reported on the news, so it's it's not just me. I'm not a journalist. I'm not an expert. I'm just a guy who drives around and gives my opinion on things based on what I hear. And I hear in the radio and I see in the newspapers that Sir Keir Starmer is trying to re-enter the single market again, which would be another broken promise. So it's just, for me, it's just one lie after the other. And you know, I don't know what the alternatives. I don't know how good the alternatives are. In the sense of, if Sir Keir Starmer wasn't in power, if Labour wasn't in power, then, you know, would I want the Conservatives in power? Probably not. Would I want Reform in power? I don't know, because, you know, they're unproven, and, you know, it's all, anyone can talk the talk, but it's whether you can walk the walk. And that's, you know, in some respects, if I'm brutally honest, if you just want my opinion, and again, that's all that this channel is, it's my opinion. My opinion is this: I don't think politics has worked for the last 20 years, let alone the last couple of years. I know Conservatives have been in power for 14 odd years and stuff, but I just don't think it's. I struggle to see instances where it actually is conducive. You know, I know there's snippets and there's parts where the world does well or a country does well and stuff like that, but. You know, overall, it's just regardless of what party you're from, or regardless of what political governing body you're from, there's always people that take the mick. There's always people that take the proverbial, and they abuse power, and it all becomes about them rather than what's good for the people. And that's my opinion. I honestly can't remember a time where politicians didn't break promises, politicians didn't do things that were I was going to say slightly, but adversely different to what most people would think would be the best way to go. It's tough. And so I don't know what the answer is. I don't know whether the answer is a different government, but it just strikes me that we're about to potentially have another promise broken, and it just makes me again lose further trust in this government. And so I just wanted to ask the question: Do you still have faith in Labour? Do you still have faith that the government is doing the right thing by us, by the people? If we break down what would happen if we went back into the single market, firstly, it would cost billions. To break away from an institute or an organisation or a relationship like that, like being a part of the EU, and then to, after how many years has it been now? Maybe 4 or 5 years, maybe longer. I can't remember off the top of my head. But to try to come back to it and start reintegrating it piece by piece is just going to cost billions. And not to mention all the trade deals that have already been brokered so far. They'd need to be unpicked. It would just be an absolute shit show. And for the amount of money that it would take to get back in, and look, I guess the other thing that's worth mentioning is the fact that it's not as if Sir Keir Starmer has come out and said, listen, I think we didn't go down the right way. I want to have another vote for the people, and we'll see where we go from there. If that's what he was doing, it's well within his right to have another referendum, and he could do it that way, which would be a somewhat legitimate way to do it, at least. I know, look, myself, when we left the EU, I myself thought that was a mistake. I don't know what the right move is. What I thought was a mistake with Brexit was I didn't feel as though at the time we really knew what we were voting for, and I didn't feel like the opposition could give a strong enough argument or strong enough evidence to show what it would look like if we go down that path, and that sort of come to fruition. I think a lot of the reasons why people voted for Brexit back then, none of them's happened. A lot of people wanted, the immigration thing sorted out. They wanted, more jobs. They wanted to be able to make our own laws and to break away from, the shackles of various governances that hang over us. We still have that in spades. So, look, I don't believe Brexit was or is a success. I don't know whether it perhaps in another alternate universe, whether it is the right thing to do, if it was actually, I guess, done correctly, you could potentially say. But I just don't think it's been done correctly on our side of the fence. And, I think it's a shambles. But however, that being said, I think going back into it, or going back into the EU now, would obliterate us, and for what would be the reason for going back into the EU right now, other than perhaps trying to further this single market, this sort of globalization of countries, and this one sort of global entity running the show. Anyway, I'm going down a bit of a rabbit hole. Listen, what's your thoughts? Are you upset that it looks like Labour's going to lie to us again? Do you still have faith in Labour? Do you think that we're heading in the right direction? What are your thoughts on this situation? Put them in the comments. Again, whether you agree with me or don't agree with me, remember, this is just an opinion. It's based on the information that is readily available across news platforms, so it's not me just making it up. It's just me commenting on the news that's coming across. So do with it as you will, but I'd love to hear what your thoughts are. Do you think Labour are about to lie to us again? Make sure you like and subscribe. Really love all the subscriptions coming in. I appreciate it. Thank you very much for getting on board the road trip train. And yeah, we're on track for our little target for 50 by the 2nd of February. I think we're at about 31 at the moment. Strike a light. Struth. That's bloody good. We'll be with Logan Paul and Mr. Beast anytime soon. We'll be catching up to him, fellas. Don't worry about that. No, listen, thank you very much for your support so far, and long may it continue. But I'll see you on the next video. Ciao for now. Bye.